Welcome everybody to Darkness to Light podcast. I'm your host, Jason Wilson. Tonight we have Paul Roberts on our show. He's also known as the Demon Warrior, joining us from California. How you doing, sir?
Hey, I'm doing fine, Jason. How you doing?
I'm doing great. It's great to have you on the show.
Oh, fantastic. How's the weather down there?
Oh man, here in Columbia it's like 65 degrees today, man. It's unusually cooler these days.
And over here in Sacramento, California, it's about 89 degrees. So
Yeah,
it's a little bit hot.
Yeah, I've been hearing like all over the United States it's been unusually hot these days.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. What's been going on in the investigative world?
Well, I just got done doing a location scout mission for Ghost Adventures house calls. And we did a case up in Auburn, which was a farm, and they had all types of things going on over there. They had the tulpas, and a tulpa is something that you can manifest from your mind, and it becomes like a living entity. And these tulpas, Deanna Jackson Stinson, our psychic medium, she was able to pick up on, which the occupant, her name's Melissa, was just very shocked. She goes, "Oh my God, how did you know that?" And she projected monkeys in the trees.
Monkeys in the trees.
Yeah, monkeys in the trees. And Deanna actually picked up on that. And so the occupant was just totally shocked. Because that's what she always looked at the trees and always thought what it would be like if there was monkeys in the trees. And also too, there was like it was on Native American land, and there was actually these sacred rocks that were there, and they're actually marked by a historical society. And we actually picked up some type of chanting. It sounded like Native American chanting. And there was supposedly a ghost in the house that was attacking Melissa.
Oh.
So I did like a Roman Catholic cleansing. Deanna did a metaphysical cleansing, and everything was clear for about 2 weeks. Then things started picking up again, and you're talking about she has something like 80 acres of land, and she has all kinds of animals on there. She has emus, and she has cows, horses, you name it, chickens, everything, all kinds of animals. So, and the animals were like freaking out over there. So what I did was, when I wrote an article about it, Ghost Adventures read the article and they said, "Hey, Paul, we're interested in taking on this case." I said, "Yeah, sure." And they have a new TV show called Ghost Adventures House Calls. So the episode was called Auburn in Hell. And so we did that.
Oh, that's phenomenal, man. So how can somebody go back and watch that episode?
It's actually all you have to do is just Google Auburn in Hell, Ghost Adventures House Calls. And they have it up on YouTube.
Okay. Great.
Yeah, you won't see me on there, but we were like credited on my IMDb and Deanna's IMDb as a location scout. We've only been on Ghost Adventures once, and then we got a special thanks, and then we've been a location scout many, many times for that show.
Okay, that's great. So was there any kind of resolution to that case? Or
yeah, after Ghost Fisher, they did their own cleansing, and one of the people on the show sort of used a Native American method using Palo Santo wood, and so right now it's been successful. But then the last time I talked to Melissa, things kind of are happening again. One of her animals, which was just completely healthy one day, next day was dead, and there was crows circling the sky. So she feels like some type of evil is happening again.
Wow. Okay, so the ghost that was attacking her, what was the ghost doing exactly?
It was pushing her. It bit her friend and left a bite mark on her arm. She was getting like scratches and stuff like that. So,
Mm, wow, that's terrible.
oh yeah,
Was she married?
yes, yes. Married, and she has a daughter.
Mm, okay.
Yeah, yeah,
So has that been going on for a long time, or is this something that just started?
yeah. It was going on for I think it's like 6 years.
6 years
Yeah,
dealing with that?
yeah, so, yeah, 6 years, and then it was just after the entity bit her friend's arm. She said, "Hey, I had enough," and that's when she contacted Halo Paranormal Investigations, which is us.
Okay. All right. So, man, I'm sure that, with everything going on in the world right now, you've seen, probably an increase of demonic activity, right?
Oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah. Have you been getting a lot of calls?
yeah. We got a demonic case coming up in Sacramento where the entities are being really attacked, um, shoving, pushing, scratching, biting,
Mm,
um, sitting on their chests, all kinds of weird stuff. And
yeah.
it seems like it could be like an incubus and a succubus type situation.
Right. But is this being caused by something that the people are doing? Like maybe, I don't know, dabbling in something that they shouldn't be.
Well, in the case that we have coming up, I believe it's because their son was dabbling in the dark arts, and because of that, he brought on these entities.
Okay. Do you know exactly what he was doing? Maybe like a Ouija board or something, or
Yeah, he was playing with the Ouija board, and then also too he was reading several books and saying some enchanting words, but those enchanting words were like summoning demonic forces.
right, right. God, one thing I can't get my head around, Paul, is that,
Yeah,
I don't know why someone would want to summon a demonic spirit.
yeah, that beats the heck out of me. But you have all these people that get curious about the paranormal, so they sit there and playing around with their Ouija board. I mean, a lot of our demonic cases is because it originates with somebody playing with the Ouija board
Mm,
and summoning some kind of dark force. And even if they had good intentions and are trying to contact their deceased grandmother, um, they they can still open up portals, and through those portals, there you have those dark type of entities going through the portals.
okay. So, Paul, have you ever done a case where somebody had done a seance and they opened a portal to demonic spirits inside their house?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. We've had, well, like been on like over 2,000 investigations, so we've had a lot of cases in which they did seances, and when they did seances, then something bad happens, and you have this mischievous entity that comes into their life, and then when they call us, they want an investigation, find out exactly what's going on, and then they want us to do a cleansing.
Okay. And usually, when you do the cleansing, do you find that you have to go back and do another one, or is it pretty much taken care of after that?
Very few cases where I have to go back. Um, Now, if they have a demonic attachment, with that demonic attachment, I usually do a full submersion baptism to get rid of that entity.
Okay. And how long does that whole process take?
Um, well, the investigation might last like 2, 3 hours, and then the cleansing depends on the size of their home. The cleansing 30 minutes, maybe 40 minutes. A baptism, they got to get the water ready. We got to bless the water, throw some holy water in there, do some prayers and everything else. I'll give it take about 40 minutes.
Okay. All right. That's not bad.
No, no, not bad at all. Yeah. So,
So, Paul, for my audience, for those that don't know who you are or what you've done, man, you have a really, really interesting story. Let's start from the beginning, man. What did you want to be when you grew up?
I wanted to be a lot of things. I wanted to be a fireman. I wanted to be a cop. I wanted to be an astronaut. Um, I wanted to be an author. And so those type of things I kind of accomplished because in 1973 I went into the army and I was a military policeman. But when I got to Germany, there was a major drug problem going on
Hmm.
with a group called the Khaki Mafia. So they needed some MPs, military police like myself, to work undercover narcotics with CID, Criminal Investigation Division, Drug Suppression Team. So I traveled throughout Germany, working undercover, wearing civilian clothes. I grew a beard, long hair, sunglasses, trying to look cool. Traveled throughout Germany, going to these nightclubs, spending taxpayers' money. Yeah, yeah, and out there partying with these people who are in possession of drugs and selling them. So, and then I had to testify in Article 32 and court martials, and that kind of helped me with my career in the paranormal. It helped with my investigative skills. So I took a 3 year break, and then in 1979, I went back into the Army and I was a 97 Bravo intelligence analyst. And
Hmm.
that's where I discovered at the Photo Interpretation Center in Korea at Yongsong Barracks. Um, I learned that, well, I saw 6 photos that came in from our reconnaissance satellites and reconnaissance airplanes. And these photographs, the 6 photographs, were of UFOs.
Oh, really?
Um, Oh yes, one was like disc shaped, one was globe shaped, one was like a ball lightning, on and on. And so these 6 photos came in, and on the back of the photo, it said intelligent movement. So that told me right there, even though that Project Blue Book closed down shop in 1969 or whatever, the military was still investigating UFOs.
Yes.
My job, my job as a 97 Bravo intelligence analyst was merely to put a number on those photos and send it to the DIA, which is the Defense Intelligence Agency. And from the DIA, it went to the CIA, and then it went into like a black hole and disappeared.
Wow.
So I never saw nothing more to it. There was another photograph that came in, but it wasn't of a UFO, but it was of what looked like an American soldier, 1981 in Vietnam. So that tells me that possibly there was POWs in Vietnam in 1981. And then there was a newspaper article that came out, and some of our Green Berets special forces were actually saying that a lot of POWs were left behind in Vietnam.
Is that right?
Oh yeah,
Mm.
yeah. So anyway, but when I got out of the service, I did some private investigation. I wasn't too successful with that. I spent a lot of time in that, and then I had a fight with the clients to get my money. So yeah, yeah. So I nixed that. I tried my hand on bounty hunting, but wasn't too good at that. Then finally, I met a person who was a paranormal investigator, and they said, "Paul, you know a lot about the paranormal."
Hmm.
Because I've always been interested in paranormal because as a little child, I lived in a haunted house.
Oh, you
So I
did?
started, oh, yeah, yeah. So I was reading a lot of books on the paranormal when I got older to find out if I was experiencing childhood nightmares or did I really witness the paranormal.
Okay, so
And
what kind of nightmares did you have?
No, no. What happened? My dog just went crazy.
No.
My What happened to me in that house? It was so unreal that I was wondering, was I actually dreaming, or did that really, really happen?
Hmm.
So in that house, there was a situation where I heard this thing that was rolling down the sidewalk, and my window opened up halfway, and this thing, like a black tea kettle with a snout, appeared by my window, and the snout pointed towards me and sprayed this gas on me.
What?
Yeah. It sound like I said. That's what I was wondering. Was that a childhood nightmare, or was it really real? So this gas thing, like, was all over my face, and the next day I had bronchitis and I had the flu, and
Wow.
I was deathly sick. Well, that wasn't the only thing that happened. Another night, this these things that looked like they had human skulls and wings flew into the room,
Hmm.
and my father came in to because I was screaming and asked me why I was screaming. But looking at his face looked like a skull too. So so that happened, and then another incident happened where an entity actually pushed me into the heater, burning my leg. And another incident, I was looking out the bedroom window at the orange grove, and I heard a woman's voice calling me by my middle name, Dale, come here. Dale,
Oh.
come here. So it was like all these things were happening to me. And the worst thing that happened was I I saw these skulls with the wings, and they're flying into the bedroom, and I was screaming, and my mother comes in, and she gave me a tablespoon of poison. She
Poison.
thought it was she thought it was cough syrup.
Oh no.
And yeah, she was half asleep, gave me a tablespoon of poison, and then when she realized what she did, she had me throw up, and she was sticking her finger in my tongue, making me cough all this stuff up.
Hmm.
So after we moved out of the house, nothing more happened to me. All the activity was centered on me. It was a little house on Effie Street in Fresno, California. So as I grew older, that's why I started wondering. I mean, what I just told you is so bizarre.
Yeah.
Was that childhood nightmares, or was that real? So I started reading books on Brad Steiger. I even got into Eric von Doniken, Chariots of the Gods. I started getting into UFOs, cryptids, ghosts, demons, the whole works, reading everything I can on the paranormal, not knowing I was going to become a paranormal investigator later on in life.
Hmm.
And then I even wind up my stories have actually went into Brad Steiger's books. So I actually have articles in his books. So here he was like a childhood hero to me because he knew so much about the paranormal. And then as I grew older, I wind up being in his books and
Oh.
becoming a paranormal investigator.
Okay. So did you become a demonologist as well?
Yeah, that's where the baptisms, the cleansing, and all that stuff all comes in. So yeah, they they consider me as a demonologist, and plus I've written articles on it and I've studied demonology and stuff like that.
Okay. So what do you think about what's going on right now with all the depression and anxiety and suicides that are going on? You think that that's related to demonic activity?
It very well could be because in a lot of demonic cases, people hear voices, and some of those voices say, "Hey, go kill yourself. You're worthless. You're trash." do away with yourself. So yeah, I mean, one of our cases that we had, and it was this guy, and he had a tattoo on his back, his whole back
Mm-hmm.
of of Satan.
Oh no. Why would you want to
Yeah.
do that, man?
Oh, I have no idea. And to help him, it was almost impossible because when you got Satan on your back, I mean, you just can't get rid of that evil stuff.
Right.
Yeah. And then we had a policewoman on our team, and the entity was centered on her. So she was out there trying to get some EVPs, electronic voice phenomenon, and this demonic voice, very deep, told her, "I'm watching you, and I want you to kill yourself."
Oh no.
It got, yeah, it got so bad. You're talking about a police officer, and it got so bad. I had to go to her house in Manteca, California. Went to her house, baptized her in her swimming pool and her whole family.
Mm.
So yeah, it was. But after the baptism, she was okay. But yeah, it was very traumatic.
God, that's horrible.
Yeah, it is
Okay,
horrible.
so what was happening to the boy?
The boy over at I mean the guy with the tattoo,
Yeah.
with the um, it's not what was happening to him, but what was happening like to his wife, to his children. The entity seemed like, well, I kind of liked him because he has Satan on his back, but
Right.
it was attacking his family members. Um, Supposedly, his wife was being attacked by a incubus,
Mm.
so it was forcefully on her, doing things to her and stuff like that. It was hurting the children and everything else. So
Thank you for watching Darkness to Light podcast. Stay tuned for part 2 with Paul Roberts.